Hello everybody, this is Keagan here and welcome back to the channel, and I'm back with a brand new video for you guys. And welcome to the first episode of Season 4 of Keagan's Movie Reviews. And today, to kick off Season 4, I'm going to be reviewing 3 movies. And all 3 of these movies I'm going to be reviewing in this episode are movies I watched in the past week. One of them I saw in theaters, and the other 2 are Netflix original movies I watched on Netflix, obviously, since they're Netflix original movies. So I don't really have a lot to say for the opening. So let's take a look at the movies I'm going to be reviewing in this episode, starting with the first movie. So let's take a dive at the first movie I'm going to be reviewing. So the first film I'm going to be talking about in this video is the new Paul Thomas Anderson film, Licorice Pizza, which is the one I saw in theaters on Thursday last week. Now, I need to start off this review by saying I'm a big fan of Paul Thomas Anderson. I think Paul Thomas Anderson is a really great director. He is the director of such great movies like Boogie Nights, There Will Be Blood, Punch Drunk Love, The Phantom Thread, Inherent Vice, and so on. And I was actually pretty looking forward to seeing this movie. And I'm just going to say I was not disappointed by this movie. But we'll get to my thoughts on that movie in a little bit. So Licorice Pizza was written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, and it was released on December 25th, 2021. So this film literally just came out on Christmas. And yeah, I don't really have too much else to say, so let's get into the storyline of Licorice Pizza, and then I'll give my thoughts on it. So let's dive into the storyline of Licorice Pizza. So the story for Licorice Pizza in a nutshell is that you got a child actor named Gary Valentine, played by Cooper Hoffman, and he falls in love with a 25-year-old woman named Alana, played by Alana Heim. And despite the age gap between Gary, who is 15, but he looks like he's in his 20s, but yeah, every movie with teenagers is played by an adult, basically, nowadays. But despite the age gap, that doesn't stop Gary from falling in love with her. And this film is set in Los Angeles in 1973. And basically, the premise of the movie, it's basically just a coming-of-age film about falling in love for the first time and running around in Los Angeles in the 70s. And that is basically what the movie is about in a nutshell. Now, I really enjoyed this movie, seeing this movie in the theater. I thought this movie had a really great soundtrack. I think the performances were great, and especially from Alana Haim and Cooper Hoffman, which, for those who don't know, Cooper Hoffman is actually the son of the late Philip Seymour Hoffman. And Philip Seymour Hoffman previously acted in some of Paul Thomas Anderson's other movies like Boogie Nights, Punch Drunk Love, Magnolia, which I haven't seen yet. And I think he also did The Master, I believe. Yeah, he did. I haven't seen that movie, though. But may he rest in peace. And I will say this. Cooper Hoffman definitely has the same talent of acting like his father did. And I think he has a bright career ahead of him. I think he did a really good job in this movie. And I thought this movie was pretty funny. I like all the stuff that happens throughout the movie. Like them selling water beds to people. Well, this was the 70s. This was back when water beds were a thing. And the part where Sean Penn is like a movie director or something, and they go through that trail of fire on a motorcycle. That scene was pretty cool. And I overall had a fun time seeing this movie in the theater. And out of all the Paul Thomas Anderson movies that I've seen so far, I haven't seen every single one of his movies, but so far, out of all the ones I've seen so far, I think this one is probably my favorite. The other 2, if I had to pick my top 3 Paul Thomas Anderson movies, number 3 would be Boogie Nights, number 2 would be Punch Drunk Love, and number 1 would be Licorice Pizza. And I really enjoyed Licorice Pizza. It might just be my favorite movie of 2021, along with Titan. Although, I haven't finalized my top 10 favorite movies of 2021 yet. But I will definitely be doing a top 10 favorite movies of 2021. And you'll definitely expect seeing this movie on this list. But I really, really enjoyed it. I definitely think it's one of Paul Thomas Anderson's best movies. And I think everyone involved with this movie did a great job. And it was a blast seeing this movie in the theater. And this was also the last movie I watched in 2021. But if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. I would highly recommend it. And I don't really have too much else to say. And before we move on to the other two movies, I'm going to give my rating for this movie. So I'm going to give Licorice Pizza a 9 out of 10. And now on to the other two movies that I got to talk about in this video. So the next movie I'm going to be talking about in this video is a Netflix original movie that I watched on Netflix, obviously, last Saturday. And it's the new Adam McKay film, Don't Look Up. And Don't Look Up is a science fiction comedy drama written and directed by Adam McKay, who previously directed movies like Anchorman, The Other Guys, The Campaign, The Big Short, and so on. But this is his newest film. And it was released on December 24th, 2021. So this film literally came out on Christmas Eve. And you got a pretty big cast in this movie, too. You got Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Ron Perlman, Meryl Streep, and so on. But now I'm going to give my thought, give out the storyline to the movie in a nutshell, and then give my thoughts on it. So let's take a dive at Don't Look Up, shall we? So the storyline for Don't Look Up is that you got two astronomers who are played by Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence, who discover a comet that is threatening to wipe out all of humanity on planet Earth, and they try to go on a big media frenzy to warn people that the comet is approaching Earth, but some people don't care about it, and the president doesn't want to do anything about it. But then it all changes when people are starting to realize that the comet is coming to Earth, and basically they're just preparing for the end of the world or for the government to do something about it. They either want to destroy the comet or mine the minerals that are on the comet to make the elite super rich. Because after all, it's money. And that's all I can basically say about the storyline of the movie in a nutshell. Now for my thoughts on this movie. Now, I need to start off by saying I was not the biggest fan of this movie. Although that's not to mean I hated it. I thought it was pretty good. I liked the performances from all the actors. I thought all the performances were great. And I thought it had some good visuals. I liked the set design. And I liked the cinematography. And I thought it was pretty funny at the same time. Although the movie, it's not a movie that I necessarily loved. But I could probably watch it again one day. But probably not for a long time. But for the most part, I thought it was pretty good. Adam McKay did a good job directing it, although Adam McKay is not one of my favorite directors, although from some of his work that I've seen, I think they're enjoyable movies for what they are. But this is definitely a movie either you like or you hate it. Some people like it, some people hate it. I honestly thought it was pretty good, but it definitely isn't one of my favorite movies of 2021. But for the most part, I thought it was pretty good. But I don't really have too much else to say about it. If you haven't seen it, you might like it, you might not. And if this looks interesting to you, then check it out. I don't really have anything else to say, but I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. And now let's move on to the last movie for this review, and then we'll be done this video. And now the last movie for this review is another Netflix original movie, and that is The Lost Daughter, which is based on the 2006 novel of the same name, which was written by Elena Ferrante. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. I've never read the novel that it was based on, but maybe someday I'll read it. And The Lost Daughter was written and directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, which this was Maggie Gyllenhaal's directorial debut. And she is the older sister of Jake Gyllenhaal, and she acted in movies like Secretary, which I did a review on back in season 2, Donnie Darko, which she acted alongside her brother in that movie, and I did a review of that movie a little while ago, back in season 3. And she also acted in The Dark Knight and so on. And this was her first time directing a movie. And this is one I've been kind of interested in. And The Lost Daughter was released on December 31st, 2021. So obviously this was released on New Year's Eve. And I'm going to talk about the storyline in a nutshell, in a spoiler-free way. And then I'll give my thoughts on it. And now let's dive into the last movie of this review, The Lost Daughter. So, The Lost Daughter follows a middle-aged English teacher named Lita, who is played by Olivia Colman, and she's on a vacation in Greece, somewhere near the beaches there, and she's kind of feeling a sense of loneliness, leaving her family behind in Canada for a vacation. But then she starts to become a little bit obsessed with this family that's traveling nearby, near the beach. And she starts to get flashbacks of when she was a mother to her daughters when they were kids. And basically it kind of gets a little weird. And I will say this, that this movie revolves around the family. Lita is obsessing over the daughter's doll. It plays a heavy role in this movie. And without spoiling too much, it's basically the story of the movie. And now I'm going to give my thoughts on it. Now, I want to start off by saying that this movie wasn't a bad movie by any means. However, I was not the biggest fan of this movie. But there are a lot of things I do appreciate. I do like the cinematography, I do like the visuals, and I do think all the performances were really well done, especially to Olivia Colman. And I think it was pretty well casted, and I think Dakota Johnson did a good job as the mother of the daughter with the doll. If you've seen the movie, you know what character I'm talking about. But the doll does play a heavy role in the movie, like in the storyline, if you know what I mean. However, I was not the biggest fan of the movie. It doesn't mean I hated it. It's just I was not a big fan of the movie. But I think everyone involved did a great job in this movie, even though I wasn't really too big of a fan of the movie. I was a little bit disappointed, but not disappointed that it would make it in my list of disappointing movies I've seen in 2021. But I don't know, it just wasn't really for me. But I do look forward to seeing what Maggie Gyllenhaal comes out with next. I think Maggie Gyllenhaal does a great job directing this movie, and I will definitely check out whatever comes out next. But if this movie seems interesting to you, and I would say check it out. It's on Netflix if you want to watch it. But I don't really have too much else to say, so I'm going to give The Lost Daughter a 6.5 out of 10. And those are the 3 movies for this review. Well, that wraps up the Season 4 premiere of this season of Keagan's Movie Reviews. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment below, and subscribe for more videos like this. And feel free to follow me on Instagram and Letterboxd. The links are in the description down below. And more movie reviews will be coming out soon. So in the meantime, stay tuned for more videos. And until next time, this is Keagan Shepard signing off. Thanks again for watching. And until next time, this is Keagan Shepard signing off. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.